Hey guys, this was this was not planned by any means. This was just going to be another off day for me, but I wanted to come back and to clarify something that obviously I overlooked and people overlooked, to be honest with you. And it was brought to my attention by a good friend of mine named that college football guy, Bill. He brought up in one of his recent videos about the MAC championship game, the scenarios that are playing out there, and one scenario that he brought up that he discovered that I did some research, and obviously it's now confirmed it's true that this is a possibility, that there are actually four teams, count them, four teams that are still in the running for spots in the MAC championship game. Now, the first three are still the same: the Ohio Bobcats, the Miami Ohio Redhawks, and the Bowling Green Falcons. But it's not just those three. It's also the Buffalo Bulls. They're the fourth team in this equation. That was the team that I overlooked because earlier in the season, the Ohio Bobcats took care of business against the Buffalo Bulls. So the head-to-head tiebreaker for there alone, and that was clearly said. The Bobcats have that over the Bulls, but I'm giving you guys a link down below in the description box for you to check out because it clearly describes the scenarios where Buffalo can be in this mix. Now, going through this article real fast because I'm not going to take too much time here. Let's start with Bowling Green's MAC championship roadmap, as the article describes. Plainly speaking, Bowling Green, the Falcons can make it by obviously winning their game against the Miami Redhawks on Saturday, eh, or they could lose to Miami, but also hope for an Ohio loss and a Buffalo loss. Well, that's not going to happen because just yesterday, on Tuesday, the Buffalo Bulls took care of business against the winless Kent State Golden Flashes. Buffalo basically destroyed Kent State 43-7. So you can toss that scenario out the window. Or for Bowling Green, they could lose to Miami, but also hope for an Ohio loss. Buffalo won, and also hope for a Central Michigan win. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, why is Central Michigan important here? Obviously, Central Michigan has nothing to play for, but they factor in when it comes to tiebreakers. As this article will get into, Central Michigan plays Northern Illinois, by the way, on Saturday. So Bowling Green has to hope that Central Michigan beats Northern Illinois for tiebreaker purposes. That's what the article says. And now, back to Miami's championship roadmap. For for them, it's just still pretty easy. They have to beat Bowling Green, and they're in. With a loss, however, they're not all the way out of it, just like the Falcons aren't out with a loss, as this article describes. If Miami were to lose, they could still be in with Ohio and Buffalo losing. Well, Buffalo just won, so you throw that out. So really, back to Miami, you have to win. For the Miami Redhawks, you have to just seal the deal and beat Bowling Green if you're going to make it. And now this is where I want to get to Buffalo, Buffalo Bulls, their situation, how they get in real fast. Buffalo's MAC championship roadmap. Okay, so to the chaos we go. Remember, the best way forward is above, but here's more on that scenario with Buffalo. All the following has to happen for Buffalo to make the MAC championship game. Buffalo has to beat Kent State on Tuesday, which they did. They just did that yesterday. Buffalo has to hope that Ohio loses to Ball State on Friday. Buffalo also has to hope that Miami does beat Bowling Green on Friday. Eastern Michigan, here's another team that factors in with the tiebreakers. Eastern Michigan, let me get to Eastern Michigan real fast. Their schedule. They have nothing to play for, Eastern Michigan, but for tiebreaker purposes, their game against Western Michigan on Saturday matters. Because for Buffalo to get in, Eastern Michigan has to beat Western Michigan on Saturday. And then Northern Illinois has to be the one to beat Central Michigan on Saturday. This is where we get into common opponents, that kind of tiebreaker formula that conferences use from time to time. The article really defines it when you read it. Now, the reason we're bringing in teams not in play for the championship game is because of a tie-breaking scenario that gets the Bulls in there. The Bulls have to have this happen in order for them to get in. So, so if Buffalo wins, Ohio loses, and Miami beats Bowling Green, keep that in mind, guys. That sets up the three-way tiebreaker scenario between Ohio, Bowling Green, and Buffalo. In that, there are multiple ways to break the tie, but in order you don't find a differentiation until you get to the common opponents. There we go, common opponents. In these three teams, they have common opponents in Akron, Ball State, Kent State, and Toledo. And in this scenario, it sounds convoluted if you ask me, but this is how they're doing it. In this scenario, Ohio will have just lost to Ball State in theory, a what if scenario, whereas Bowling Green and Buffalo won, thus moving those two down the tie-breaking scenarios. Tiebreaker number 5 in the MAC scenario states that it would come down to each team's combined conference opponent winning percentage in MAC conference play. The two teams Bowling Green and Buffalo don't have in common are Eastern Michigan, which would be Buffalo, and Central Michigan, Bowling Green. Prior to the start of Week 14, Bowling Green's opponent winning percentage ranks one game higher than Buffalo's percentage. So hopefully you guys can understand all that. It was hard for me to understand all that at first. But yeah, that's the scenario. That's the real scenario. So I guess you can classify this short live stream video as Bobcat Corner 32 and a half. I had to clarify it. I had to, make a correction here because I didn't want to keep you guys hanging about, oh, if somehow, some way Buffalo gets into the MAC championship game, you guys would come back here and say, oh, why didn't you say this about Buffalo? Well, I just didn't know. And a lot of us didn't. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Just click the link below and just read the article for yourselves, and you'll get up to speed with the MAC championship game, scenarios. Anyway, also, just want to take out time to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys early today. Early Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Hope you guys are gonna have just a good time and being with your families and just spending time just relaxing because that's what really people do on Thanksgiving. They just relax. They have their turkey dinner and they just relax. So, and speaking of relaxing, I've been trying to have time to relax, in between making videos here. So, yeah, I wish all of you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Uh, to guys like the Big Mountain Podcast, to that college football guy, and so many others I'm not even thinking of. Just, I wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Just really take care of yourselves for tomorrow. And I'll be back here shortly, hopefully with that live stream on Friday, if all goes according to plan after the Ball State game, which I really do believe the Bobcats have a great chance of winning. I'm very certain they're going to do it. So yeah, this is just me chiming in real fast. Click the link below to get up to speed about the MAC championship game scenarios. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys again shortly. Take care. Bye.